So today I'm going to talk about a safe universe. And the point is that I've talked about this many times in the past. Well, actually, I'd like to take a break here and go back to last week. And I spoke about seeing yourself in others, seeing yourself in others. And specifically, I'm interested in two things. How did it impact how you felt about them? And did the person they were change in your experience after you changed? So, did anybody there? I'm looking for one or maybe two people to share their experience. Did anybody have that experience?
So last week, Miles was talking about seeing yourself in others and interacting with that and changing that. Does anybody follow through with what he had recommended that we do and want to share an experience?
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Kathleen.
Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, Miles.
Hi.
Much love.
Lots of love to you too.
Thank you. My experience with my next door neighbor who is kind of been controlling. Anyway, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just let her be who she is. And I'm just going to sit back in observation of that and just really admire all the beauty because of her controllingness. It was really interesting to sit back and just really observe rather than, come up with judgment on her or why is she being that way or, why does she talk to me like that or whatever. I just sat back and looked at it and didn't get involved in all of her part of where she was at. So it was interesting to see her shift. And then I found myself giving to her where normally, honestly say, I sometimes withhold because she doesn't like to receive. So I assisted her in my giving to her, and she was able to receive. So it was really cool. So that was my experience.
Wow. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. So it's good to hear some feedback about that because I found it to be one of the most powerful techniques in my life and Reba as well. So I'm going to move on now to the topic of safe universe. Now,
Miles.
Yes.
Hold on one second. I wanted to share one more thing. On the topic you were talking about this. So Miles, just to give you an idea, Jim, who is a member of GTS in New York, when we say, even though you're not here, you're here, and listen to the connection between what Miles was talking about as an exercise last week and what Jim, not having been here, sends me this week. I was having a thought about getting what you give away. When you allow others to be who they are, then you get to be who you are too, which then is being one who appreciates, loves, and allows all of God's expression, being. To be that which truly is helping others to create themselves through you. This does in fact create a really nice little view in me, which most certainly has done. So isn't it interesting that not being here with the group is still through his connection and love of us? Here he is exactly on the same thought wave that we are here. Exactly. And so really, are you in your everyday life striving to be the conduit of creation between you
Oh, thank you. Wow, that was beautiful. So, I want to give a shout out to Linda Baden Dahl. She has written. She's on Facebook and she posts there every day about the Seth material. And she's written a series of 3 books about living a safe universe based on the Seth material. And that's where I got most of this material. Reba and I have spent countless hours reading it and discussing it and getting great joy out of it and finding great empowerment in our lives using the material, which has prompted me to share it with you. So, the goal of this presentation is to establish a platform from which to live our lives based on trusting ourselves and trusting the universe. This platform empowers you or me to trust ourselves to live our dream, trusting the support of the universe. So, today I'm going to start with the smallest particle of the universe called a consciousness unit. Now, before I get started, I want to do a short disclaimer. Last week, Gary talked about the oneness of all that is of the universe, and that is absolutely the case. Anything other than oneness is simply a construction to help us bridge the gap of understanding, of comprehending all that is. So I'm talking about units that seem like separate parts, but in the end, in reality, it's truly all one. So consciousness units can quite appropriately be called the God particle. Consciousness units, like strings in string theory, are almost impossibly small. It takes millions and millions of them to make up an atom. A consciousness unit contains within itself innately, inherently, infinite properties of expansion, development, and organization, yet within itself always maintains the kernel of its own individuality. Consciousness units are awareized energy. It is aware energy identified within itself as itself, not personified, not made human, but it is aware. Despite whatever organizations it becomes part of, or how it mixes with other such basic units, its own identity is not annihilated. And by the way, neither is your identity ever lost or annihilated. Not your ego, not your soul, not part of you, no part of you is ever lost. So, consciousness units themselves never become physical. They never become physical. However, they are the beginning or the incipient part of, if you will, all physical manifestation in every reality, in every dimension, in every universe. Now, consciousness units yearn for expression. So when you have a desire, they immediately create it for you in your vortex, what Abe talks about, your soul, to start. But they also create it in other more flexible or malleable realities in order to explore your desire. And at some point, based on your focus and emotion, you may choose to actualize it physically. But it is always in your vortex, your desire that is always in your vortex for you to call upon, to build on as a vibrational template, if you choose. And this, of course, is an example of Abe's injunction, Abraham's injunction, ask and it is given, which of course is also biblical. Now, consciousness units are holographic particles. That means they exist everywhere at once and are in constant communication and knowing about every other particle or consciousness unit of the universe. In fact, some metaphysicians say that because they travel at faster than the speed of light, there is actually only one particle in the universe. And logic tells me there might be some truth to that since God is oneness. Consciousness units form groups known as energy gestalts. Therefore, yes.
Hold on.
Day to you. Happy birthday, dear Stephanie. Happy birthday to you.
That was so great. Happy birthday, Charlie. Thank you so much. Very overwhelming. I cannot thank you enough. Angels, universe, my peace. My peace. My clients. Oh, wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. That's what we're all about, celebrating success, each other's success. And how great is it when we've known each other for a little while and we have this moment to celebrate. So amazing, amazing. Congratulations, Stephanie. It's only the beginning. Miles, thanks for the interrupt, letting us interrupt you. If you could proceed with your presentation.
Sure. And you know, Stephanie is an example to all of us. Stephanie takes these principles that she learns every week in GTS and uses them in her life to create great success. So, deeply heartfelt congratulations, Stephanie. Richly earned and so deserved. So I was talking about consciousness units forming groups, and these groups are known as energy gestalts. Energy gestalts, they're groups of energy, and we recognize them because they're atoms and molecules, cells, organs, our body, even our soul. This basic unit, this consciousness unit, is endowed with unpredictability. And that very unpredictability allows for infinite patterns and fulfillments. Their nature is the vitalizing force behind everything physical in our physical universe as well as other universes. These units can appear, indeed, in several places at once and without going through space in our terms. Literally now, these basic units of consciousness can be in all places at once, and they are in all places at once. They will not be recognized because they will always appear as something else. They are non-physical and will always be non-physical. But as they form energy groups, they transform into other particles that do become physical. and they will always be expressing themselves as other things. Each of these units is aware of the reality of all others. And this is a really important point. Each of these units influences all others. They can move forward or backward in time, but they can also move into thresholds of time with which we are not familiar. All probabilities are probed and experienced. All possible universes are created from these units. Therefore, there are realities in which the endless probabilities of any one given event are probed and all experience grouped around that venture. So, I want to try and reframe you as you live your life, give you another context. So, the best way I know to do that is to say, we're pioneers like the pioneers that went west in the expansion of the country. So we tend to view ourselves as one-dimensional. But the reality is that 60,000 times a day you're thinking, and like you are a thought of all that is, each of your thought goes on to create their own experience, their own reality, form their own associations, gather information, and bring that back to you. And at the level of your soul, your experience is every probability of your experience is fully explored. So it seems that you're just drifting through life. However, actually, just the opposite is true. Every second, you're opening up huge new vistas within all that is. And in that instant, all that is exploring them fully, and these are adding massively to the expansion of all that is, of the universe, and of you. So let's take an example. Let's say you see someone across a crowded room, the song. As your eyes connect and you move across the room to meet them, in that walk over, you are doing millions and millions and millions of calculations and sorting and options and probabilities from each movement of your body to each word that you say. Now, you're doing this completely seamlessly. You're unaware that you are easily creating every iota of this interaction, and in fact, of everything in every part of your life. You're easily creating them. You can't tell that you're not. These units of consciousness do not have human characteristics, but they do have their own inclinations. And we would classify those inclinations as good. They are all their inclinations, leanings, and propensities are of pure positive energy. They're vitalized, aware, and charged with all the qualifications of being. All structures are composed of such organizations. They are innately endowed with the desire or propensity for growth and creative organization, and they are not found alone in isolation. They're always in groups. And these units of consciousness exist at once, and they are aware of all the organized self-structures of which they are a part. Atoms, molecules, cells, organs, bodies, souls, they're aware of all of it. And since I've told you that in your terms past, present, and future exist at once, these units are constantly emerging out of our now point from both the past and the future. All matter is based on these. So, The point is this, that everything, every part of the universe is literally conspiring for us. Or as Gary would say, everything is working for us. So every particle of the universe has a superlative focus on our life, supporting us. And it's aware of every other part of the universe. So this integration, this seamless continuity of synchronicities that flow into our life are part and parcel of the universe, of all that is, and of us. And since it's so aware and so intently focused on us, its focus is superb. As Abe would say, we are the center of the universe. And its focus on us is superlatively tailored for our own good. Now, in any given moment, we may be experiencing something that doesn't feel good. We might even characterize it as bad. And what I'm saying is, if we could see it from the point of view of super consciousness, of super intellect or super intelligence, we would see that all the way down to the most infinite level, it's tailor-made for us. So whenever we're going through an experience, if we can become the observer like Kathy talked about, if we can take a step back and say, what's the lesson in this for me? It gives us a chance to get back into alignment with that river of pure positive energy, the only energy that exists in the universe, and get into alignment with that and start living the life of our dreams. Thank you.